You know, it's no secret that businesses today are challenged with, trying to be very, very agile, very, very innovative because they have to react to ever-changing market demands. In fact, we just finished a study with 451, just finished this October. They actually surveyed over 1,000 customers. And of those customers, they found that 57% of those customers are starting to embrace a hybrid or multi-cloud environment. And also of that 1,000 customers, 68% said, geez, I still got to keep some stuff on-prem because of compliance and security, but I really would love that cloud experience and that on-prem scenario. So obviously the world is hybrid and becoming more so, but one thing that we're hearing from customers is that they'd like we'd like choice, but also a consistent experience. But hybrid cloud requires a new way. What we're hearing from customers is that, hey, we need that agility, and that the cloud model promises, but with all these different clouds and cloud operations, it's difficult. It's much different than traditional IT operations. They're concerned about this in this multi-cloud world, cost overruns. Gartner did a study that said for the use of the public cloud and oftentimes the on-prem area, you can be looking at a 40 to 70% cost overrun. Not only in the public cloud where you've got maybe business units and shadow IT swiping cards with Amazon or whatever, but maybe you've got on-prem cost and overrun provisioning or under provisioning, and those costs get out of control. Also, managing clouds, I mentioned cloud operations, it requires new skills. New skills for the people that have been doing traditional IT operations, where those IT individuals should be doing more innovative projects, helping support the business and enabling the business from a standpoint of rather than supporting it from an IT standpoint. And the compliance and security, we talked about the on-prem piece. The public cloud's a great solution, but there's also that need for compliance and security that maybe require an on-prem situation. Before I get into more details around GreenLake Hybrid Cloud, it probably suffices to talk a little history around GreenLake. We actually started GreenLake about 10 years ago. And we currently have close to $3 billion worth of customers on service contracts with GreenLake. They're very satisfied with it. We have like a 99% retention rate of those service contracts. We started out the most basic. If you think about, let's talk about the on-prem piece, think about compute and storage. It really was a way to acquire that compute and storage on a true pay-per-use capacity basis. So if you think of the traditional procurement model, hey, I'm going to go out and buy 100, 200 servers. I'm going to run the risk of do I over-provision or under-provision, and at a certain time you have to go through the whole procurement cycle again. What we've done, and I've got a kind of a graphical pictorial across on the other side, you want to take a look at it later, is that we actually work with the customer to figure out what is your usage, what is your anticipated usage over time, and we actually put a buffer on-prem or at a co-location. We have agreements with Equinix and Cirrus One to actually support that usage. And through monitoring software, we provide that customer with a monthly invoice that is truly just capacity. And maybe it's measuring core usage for servers. Maybe it's measuring terabytes used for storage. We then expanded that to more workload solutions. Microsoft Azure Stack is an example of such. Backup as a service, big data as a service, database as a service, SAP HANA as a service. So not only the sheet metal infrastructure that supports that, but the services, the software, again, all metered and provided as a service. What I'm going to talk about today is HPE GreenLake Hybrid Cloud, which expands that not only to the on-prem, private cloud, traditional infrastructure, pay-per-use scenario with GreenLake, but into the public cloud as well. So this is just a little pictorial, and again, I mentioned I've got a more detailed graph that shows over time how the cost model works. But for Microsoft Azure, obviously it's what the forecasted capacity is, with the local buffer we put on site, and in this instance, the Microsoft Azure Stack solution, and you then just pay for what you use. We are a Microsoft MSP, so we've got the one throat to choke support for this solution. So let's talk a little bit about GreenLake Hybrid Cloud. I mentioned the on-prem piece, which in essence what we're doing is bringing that cloud experience to your apps and data on-prem. So you benefit from having that agility of the cloud, the economics of the cloud and pay-per-use on-prem through HPE GreenLake. So we've extended that to GreenLake Hybrid Cloud. Obviously when you're working in the public cloud, you already have some of that economic benefit, the agility benefit, but we're taking it one step further as far as some of the operational support we put along with it. So obviously the economics. You're going to get the economics of a public cloud and a cloud-like experience on-prem when you just pay per use. I want to talk a little bit about, well, I mentioned the client portal. I didn't mention the client portal. That's actually the one cloud experience. If you go back to the first slide where customers are saying, hey, I want a consistent experience. This is that one pane of glass into your hybrid/multi-cloud environment using HPE GreenLake Hybrid Cloud. So you can look at it, you can move services around as you need, and it's that one window into that entire infrastructure. I'd be really remiss if I didn't mention Right Mix Advisor. And Right Mix Advisor, we've kind of put it in here as an ongoing element. A lot of customers, they may have a cloud mandate. They maybe haven't even started their journey into cloud. Some customers are maybe, they've got a combination of some public, private cloud, traditional infrastructure, but they need some help. With the Right Mix Advisor, we have a cloud consulting practice within our HP Point Next Services organization. We recently augmented that by the acquisition of CTP about a year or so ago, which has a lot of public cloud knowledge, as well as Red Pixie, which really brings that Microsoft Azure knowledge into our organization. RMA is really, I hesitate to call it a tool. It's more like an intellectual property that we use. It's a process by which we work with you and your infrastructure to understand, let's take a look at, over time, what really needs to move where, and what workloads should go into the public cloud, what workloads, because of compliance or security, really need to stay on-prem. And look at that assessment, and oh, by the way, where do we start? What are the easy ones to move initially? And over time, RMA is a great tool to do that. And I'd recommend that you even look at that before you think about what's the consumption model I want to engage with. I mentioned security and compliance. We help with that over time with HPE GreenLake Cloud, understanding what needs to go where. There's a lot of tools that help measure that. Infrastructure, I talked about the sheet metal infrastructure. That's obviously at the base, or certainly for the on-prem element of HPE GreenLake Hybrid Cloud. That capacity that's going to fluctuate, and you only pay for what you use. Obviously, platforms, take that one step further to some of the workload solutions that are included in HPE GreenLake Hybrid Cloud. And then the managed operations. If you think of HPE GreenLake Hybrid Cloud in four dynamics, we provide you that one customer experience, that one consistent experience into the GreenLake Hybrid Cloud. We operate the clouds for you. That whole cloud operations element I was talking about, we operate the cloud for you. Gives your IT staff the ability to do more innovative projects, again, enabling the business. We optimize the clouds for you, specifically public cloud. We'll take a look at what's happening in the public cloud to make sure that it's optimized. You're not having those cost overruns that I talked about before that Gartner mentioned. And we provide it consumption enabled. So the whole environment is a true pay-per-use consumption enabled environment solution. Again, GreenLake Hybrid Cloud is going to offer you simplicity, easy to use for that one client experience portal I mentioned. It's a common way to consume, common way to buy, common dashboard, again in that one pane of glass, consistency in service. You've got HP as your primary focal point, and it's multi-cloud, public, private, in some cases where you may need to have traditional infrastructure, you can then put under a GreenLake scenario. It is a service contract, it's not a lease. It's a true service contract. We can help you fast track your move to public cloud. I mentioned Right Mix Advisor and the expertise that we have within our organization. We can help you build a world-class private cloud on-prem. Obviously, a lot of people are looking at software-defined solutions. I'm in the services organization, and GreenLake will give you that services element, but we got some great technology at the heart of it as you look at maybe software-defined solutions. Optimize your cloud deployments. Make sure that you're using public cloud in the right way. And free up capacity in your people and capital. One thing I didn't mention was, which is a great advantage with GreenLake, if you want to look at moving to GreenLake on your on-prem environment, you've got an old aging infrastructure. We will actually work with our financial services organization. They will actually buy back those assets and give you a check that you can use to fund the new technology that you would put under a GreenLake agreement. So you can actually help fund that digital transformation through our financial services organization. Well, it's no secret, if anybody was to discover in June, our CEO, Antonio, mentioned that we will move to an as-a-service company by 2022. That is the direction. That's how customers want to engage. Obviously, we'll still have traditional way of purchasing, technology, but we're really, HP GreenLake as a corporate brand, we're going to move in that direction as an as-a-service company. Well, I've said enough, but really is important what customers think. At the end of the day, and here's a quote from a customer that's actually using GreenLake for the Microsoft on-prem Azure Stack solution. So, and I mentioned that we've got a 99% retention rate with most of our GreenLake contracts right now.